Hello everybody, welcome back to another video with me, Mystical Plays. And in today's video, I got something special for you. We had a new snapshot with a whole lot of new blocks that we saw at Minecraft Live. So I decided in today's video I would think of a few fun ways to use these new blocks, and I have these lovely builds behind me. And I tried to zoom about 10 times there, but I'm in the snapshot, so this is the best zoom you're gonna get. Yeah. Anyway, so the first build I have here for you today is a barn, and this is the first thing I thought of when I saw the pale planks. That it makes a very good little trim for the barn, and as you can see, I have the classic sort of barn color. So I got red and I got white, and mangrove wood is actually very dark. So I did do a little bit of a gradient here to add in some like weathering around the roof, and yeah, I think it looks quite good. It would look really good with just this color, but then again, I want to convey that this is made out of wood, so that's why there's mangrove planks. I think this barn turned out very nicely. It's got like a little side area here with the hay, and yeah, it looks quite good, I'd say. Quite a neat little barn. Also, there's a little trick I used. As you can see here, I have glass panes, white glass panes. That is meant to sort of smoothen out the edge of the roof. And it's actually quite hard to notice. Like from a distance, it just sort of smooths out the edge of the blocks a little bit. Just a little bit, not too much, just a tiny little bit. But yeah, I think that's quite a cool barn. Let's move over to our next build. And this is a custom birch tree. I was watching BWO's Hermitcraft episode where he mentioned the new wood would be great for making a birch tree. So I decided to have a look if that was actually the case, and I must say, B-dubs, this is a very lovely birch tree. Birch log and diorite work extremely well together. And then, it sort of transitions to the pale wood up here at the top. I think it looks really, really cool. We also got the pale oak fences. And the pale oak fences, dude, I must say they make really good branches. Really good white branches. Because the closest thing to that you will be able to use would be the actual birch fences themselves. Off to our next build, and this actually took probably the majority of the time building all these builds. This is a haunted house, and this update gives off sort of Halloween vibes. I know they sort of said it's going to come out in the winter, not really at Halloween, which is a bit of a shame, but I think it's going to be used for a lot of Halloween builds. So this is my haunted little house over there, as you can see, and there's obviously like a graveyard and some pumpkins all over the place. Now, to really get the vibe of a haunted house across, I think I'm going to have to put my brightness to moody, and I'm going to have to do time set midnight. And yeah, that looks a lot better at night. This is like sort of a nighttime build. As you can see, we have an archway here with the pale oak leaves, and it looks quite cool with just sort of a little tough wall around. It's basically all lit up, so it's actually spawn proof, thanks to the candles I used. Also, as you can see here, I got this little effect with the tinted glass. This is meant to be like a window with some maybe curtains, and I'm guessing some light source coming out of here, and it actually looks quite cool. I also used the hanging moss to add in, a little bit of a spookier vibe here to it, and of course, some cobwebs. And if you walk up to here, welcome to Mystical's happy house. And if we ring the doorbell, it's actually quite neat. So I actually have a calibrated skulk sensor out here in the back. And what this does is basically it listens for the sound of a button, which is signal strength 10. And it basically sends over the signal to this, keeping the doors open for as long as it takes for the shrieker to shriek. And shriek is really cool. Just gives off like little screams. So when you just press this button, ring the doorbell. Oh, that's so cool. The doors just open up and let out a big scream. Had to do that. Also, I didn't bother with the back of this one, because why would I? Also, I really, really love the chimney. I don't know how well you can see this, but if we do brightness bright, you can see it completely changes the atmosphere of this place. If we make it day again, you can see I used stained glass to make a little sort of smoke effect. I think it looks really cool. As you can see all along the wall, I did use a lot of pale moss and pale leaves, just to add some sort of vegetation, but still keeping it all grey and desaturated. So yeah. But again, I mostly used blocks from older updates. As you can see, a lot of soul sand and soul soil, muddy mangrove roots, make a wonderful rotten pumpkin. Yeah, I mean, a lot of tuff was used as well. So I only really used the new blocks in just tiny little ways, like on this arch, the sort of leaves growing up it. Also, if we go down here, we have a whole lot of hanging moss and pale leaves and pale oak down here. And at night, these actually make a sound. So if you make the time night again and just listen a bit, then these blocks should make a little bit of a sound. Yeah, I mean, like you can hear that that's just a tiny little bit of ambience, and you can hear from up here as well. I think if you had a few pale oak trees, or not even pale oak trees, just use the blocks, the new pale blocks, and they will sort of create these ambient sounds. So you could basically hide a few of these blocks under your base and just sort of get these little occasional creaks. And I'd say that's really cool. It's very cool for any ambient Halloween kind of builds. Now, of course, we had to make a house out of pale oak planks, and I think this house actually looks quite nice. The pale oak planks, actually, this is quite interesting about them. They don't actually go with the calcite and diorite as I expected. And well, you might be saying, like, what do you mean? I think that's quite a good gradient. I think that matches quite well. And you'd be right. But the thing about them is, if you take a close notice, these have sort of a grayish tone to them, and these have a very pink tone. Let me explain what I mean. If we get these two planks together, you'll see that these two actually go together extremely well, because the pale oak planks actually have a little bit of a pinkish tint to them. Same with the actual stripped pale oak. They just have a little bit of a pinkish tint to them, so they don't go exactly too well with the sort of grayish, like calcite, which is a little bit annoying for gradients. I sort of divided this off. It sort of looks like they're the same color. There's a little tiny little gradient down the bottom. But yeah, it's just something I came to notice that it goes actually very well with cherry planks. I just couldn't think of anything to make with cherry planks and pale oak wood. But yeah, I mean, this is quite a simple sort of base. It looks really, really nice. It sort of looks like it's freshly painted. But as you can see, again, I used a lot of blocks from older updates, like from the Tricky Trials update, and I used a lot of copper, I used a lot of tuff. I used the chimney. Like, these are all things that were added beforehand, you know. But as you can see here, I have a little bit of pale moss mixed in with the tuff, because that actually makes a decent little gradient, blends quite well with the tuff. So you can use this in a bit of a gradient with tuff. Yeah, so it mixes very, very well. And they both have a little bit of a greenish hue to them. Let me explain what I mean. As you can see, all of these blocks have a little bit of a greenish hue to them. And even this, like, these don't blend directly. You know, like, they don't exactly... If you put both of these together, they won't exactly blend too well. It blends quite well with just the cobblestone in between them. Like, this actually looks quite good, because the pale moss does have a little bit of greenish hue to it. Same with the pale leaves. They have a little bit of a greenish hue, so it does work well with regular moss as well. So that's just something I thought I'd point out. Let me know what you think of all of these concepts, and go ahead and try to make something yourself out of these new blocks. They're actually quite cool. But yeah, that's been all from me, Mystical Place, and I'll see you guys again in another video. So yeah, if you want to stay tuned for that, you know what to do. But until then, have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll be out of your way. So see ya. Bye.